What is going on, guys? Eats Hello here, and today we're going to be going into Kolder Creative's course. We're going to be diving into every single module, sharing a little bit about what I like the course, where I think it's a bit lacking, and overall everything you need to know to make a decision as to whether or not this course is going to elevate your filmmaking career. So with that, let's jump into it. All right, guys, so the first thing that I want to talk about in this course is there is so much content to go through. Sam is definitely packing in a whole bunch of value and a whole bunch of hours of his own time for you to learn. So obviously with DaVinci Resolve here, we can see 19 hours, Premiere Pro 250 minutes, AE 170 minutes, Creative Process 20 minutes, Data Management 13 minutes, Additional Programs 17, Video Transitions 144, FPV about an hour, Business an hour flat, Gear 41, Shooting 33, Technicalities 32. I do think that this is definitely a course that is skewed towards the creative side. Okay, it is not the most valuable course when it comes to building the business, building the systems, successfully landing clients, and that whole process. And I think that that is shown just based off the amount of time that is dedicated to each section. So if you're coming to this course and you want a quick fix and you want to learn the ins and outs of the business side of videography, there's obviously so much more. You couldn't possibly cover it all in an hour, but you can see how heavily skewed it is in the direction of actually creating great work. So if you are leaning towards this course because you want to do the business side, I'm going to say that I don't think it's for you, just based off the numbers, right? 60 minutes of business isn't even, I think the majority of courses of modules are going to be less than that. And there's one module towards business and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, basically 10 modules in the other stuff. One takeaway that I had from the Premiere Pro wasn't necessarily so much to do with the editing side, but there's little insights that Sam shares of how he's using his time to actually get the most out of it. So when Sam is going through the selects, instead of just kind of mindlessly scrubbing through, he's playing them quickly. But one thing he does is he loads up, 5 to 10 songs that he think might be a good fit, right? So you're actually listening to music from, your royalty-free music provider as he's doing it, right? So while he's just looking through selects relatively quickly, he's hearing music in the background and actually able to make those decisions to see what kind of fits, because he's getting to experience the music while seeing a bit of the footage play out. I got a good takeaway too from the sound design portion of this module, because it shows really Sam's creative process when it comes to thinking about all the different sounds that would be coming up in this particular scene. So he's thinking about what is in basically happening directly in front of you, what is in the background, what is the ambience going to be like. And when you watch Sam take a relatively simple shot that is transitioning from underwater to a car driving scene, he shows you exactly how he thinks about what sounds to input, and then he talks about how he edits the sound so that they're realistic within the clips. Quickly going to talk about the color grading and color correction course within the modules, because what's interesting is actually Sam's attention to detail. When you watch his videos, you're going to notice that he's putting a tremendous amount of detail in every single frame, every single second, even to the point where he is actually adding a bit of brightness by masking around this girl's eyes within this shot. So I'd say that's one of the major takeaways. Obviously, he's getting everything right from a macro perspective, meaning that he is making sure that colors actually matching from one shot to the next, so it doesn't seem like greens are greener in one shot and then not as green or a bit duller in the next. So making sure that matches up all the way to the little details like that girl's eyes. One thing that Sam did too that was completely new to me is at the end of certain shots, he actually keyframes them to change the color to match the next shot a bit better. It's really, really subtle. He maybe keyframes in the last 2-3 seconds of a shot to maybe be a little bit greener if the next shot's going to be green, or a little bit darker if the next shot is darker. So just to help his edits flow more smoothly. All right, guys, so let's talk real quick about file structure and organization, because I don't think that this is going to really help a lot of people unless you are shooting on a very consistent basis, doing crazy stuff. So Sam here is sharing really the date of what happened and also a little blurb so he remembers, when he's quickly looking. And basically that is how he structures things. So he can always just kind of search a date on his computer, just Command F, and then that will allow him to very quickly see, what he was shooting in Saudi Arabia, or he can type in that exact location. So if he types in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or Bali, then all the footage that has come from Bali or Saudi Arabia or Hawaii or wherever can easily be popped up. So the next thing that he's going to talk about is the easy file folder structure hack, which is basically this. Say, for example, you're working through a project and you are constantly moving things to a specific folder. You can just do this. You can just move it into your Finder here, and then you can move it out when you're done working on it. That is the file folder hack. I quickly want to jump off the course to share that I have an affiliate link below, and as a thank you for going through that link, if you do choose to buy this course, I want to share that I've kind of gone through freelancer to filmmaker to now a bit more of an agency owner, and I've figured out ways to pretty consistently generate clients, generate awareness to my business, and a sales process that moves people from being interested in getting some content created all the way to streamlining them to actually paid projects, and then even recurring revenue through social media management and a whole lot more. Honestly, I love creating videos, but I'm also just as passionate about the business side of things. So figured out how to actually have a whole team in the Philippines that handles the editing, handles the sales, handles the community management for the socials that we manage over at Repeak Media, and also that are constantly, doing outbound to bring in video projects. So if you want any help on the business side of things, as a thank you for going through my link, if you choose to do that, and honestly, I'll help you anyways. I'll put my email below. Just shoot me an email with any questions you have, and I'd be more than happy to help you with the business side. And I'm no means saying that I am a guru here or one of the best like Kolder Creative, but I definitely have my systems down and processes down, and I can share with you a few things that I'm doing to help you get more paying clients and make this a more sustainable business, wherever you're at with it. So if you do choose to go through my link, definitely shoot me an email. If not, shoot me an email anyway. We'll be more than happy to help. And honestly, in conclusion, I want to share that, regardless of where you are in your filmmaking career, I'd say that you are probably you're definitely going to get some value out of this course if you put in the time, if you go through it. Maybe not so much from the business side, but definitely from the creative. And everybody knows that if you have, really good creative, people are going to notice, people are going to share your work, it's going to get more exposure, and then it can lead to a whole lot more. So that's my 2 cents. Let's get back to it. All right, guys, now jumping into the video transitions and breakdown section of the course, what's pretty cool is that Sam literally goes step by step through different transitions. Here we have an example that was just a taste. He also shared this within a YouTube video. So if you want to see firsthand what this module is going to look like and the level of detail that he goes into these transitions, definitely recommend checking out the YouTube video of this. There's also, I'm just going to briefly brush over what's included. He breaks down his entire drone reel, and what's pretty cool is actually gives you the clips for it. So you can see, you can just see all the raws of where Sam was at all over the world shooting these different shots, and just look at them firsthand. And it goes super in depth because there's so much, there's really a ton to all the different masks, and these videos are all super dense. You can see this one 40 minutes long. So I will say that Sam, again, I believe I talked about this earlier in this video, is Sam again goes so much harder on the creative side than he does on the business side. And you can see that here with this one video alone being 40 minutes long with the play-by-play, follow along. And this also is I mean, 3 parts. So just this drone reel alone, you can see how in-depth it is and now what it actually takes to make a video like this. Also goes into the subway video replacement from the My Year, which is pretty sweet. And then Air 2S Highline clip. Let's see this. Let's see if we can pull some clips from this. Let's move on into the FPV drone section, which is pretty unique because I think that Sam has really pioneered the FPV space. I mean, now there's a lot of creators that fly FPV, but Sam has been there, done that. So in this section of this course, he goes over again every little tool, everything in his kit when it comes to FPV. But what I will say is that unless you really want to go into FPV, you probably don't need to do all this. You could probably just go straight to DJI and buy their FPV drone. Otherwise, you're going to sink a lot of time into learning these steps, doing these steps, like charging the drone batteries, taking the power out of them, and learning how to basically build an FPV drone when you could just go with FPV. So buy a completed kit already through DJI. The technicalities of this part of the course is more on the basic side, but again, the fundamentals are super important. So again, I'm not going to talk about this too much because it's fairly basic, and you can find a lot of this content on YouTube: shutter speed, aperture, ISO, ratio, shutter and more, frame rates, balancing your gimbal. So what I do want to, my take on this too, that might be nice to note, is that obviously Sam is starting at very beginner, right, in the creative process, understanding aperture, ISO, shutter speed. Every single video course, every single person creating needs to have a great understanding of that. But then, it takes you all the way to the to the video transitions and breakdowns, right? Which is just pretty insane that this course takes you all the way from, lower your ISO so it's not as noisy, and then open your aperture to get a more shallow focal depth of field, and then your shutter speed so there's normal motion blur, all the way to this is how you do a drone reel where you get this shot and mask out the back of this tent into whatever, the Sahara Desert, whatever, what I mean. So that's kind of cool to note that again, this course takes you from the very, very beginning all the way to very, very advanced. Jumping into the After Effects section of this course, Sam definitely is an AE pro, and I think it's shown within After Effects here, especially this module, just going over how in-depth he goes on every single thing from tracking to mocha masks, and also with a lot of real-time examples. So he goes, I think in this video, he does the example of Saudi footage, right? And you can download all this footage, which is going to allow you to follow step by step. So if you want an in-depth course on AE, you obviously have the After Effects course itself here. But what is interesting too is it kind of goes even more in depth because, again, with the video transitions and breakdowns module, there's a lot of After Effects. So you're basically going to get a master's in After Effects from following along these 2 modules within the course. Quickly to note, there's also some community modules. So Sam puts up some live streams where he's answering different questions, and that you can see him go live. You can ask questions specifically. Aside from that, there's also student den sessions where they actually bring in different students to teach different things, right? Stock photography with Angus Cruditis, not sure who this guy is. Introduction to Cinema 4D. Storytelling, right? And so these are different students that they pull up within the community to just share their knowledge. And what's cool too is that the Kolder creative community, super engaged. Everyone is super involved. You can see 15 hours ago, July 29th, July 28th, 6 hours ago, 4 hours ago, July 26th, July 29th. So you can see that there's just a whole 5 hours ago. So there's so much engagement, and for the most part, it's I'd say it's pretty constructive. What you can do here, and what I like to do is I like to share my work and then just get feedback. I'm always trying to watch a video or a piece of content that someone else is putting out, give them my constructive feedback, and it just makes for a great community. There's also a bunch of different challenges that they share using, I believe there was just a mobile challenge where, you were just seeing who could make the best content on just their phone. There was a My Story challenge, and then Sam actually goes in and gives his thoughts. So if you want, direct access for Sam to see your work or other people on the Kolder Creative team enter the challenges, you get a lot of value. Moving right into templates and downloads, ton of different resources here. I really liked seeing Sam's media kit, so it's cool to see what Sam is using to pitch different businesses to get work. They also send you a blank template for that, so you can fill that in with your own information. There's also a huge amount of clips, right? So if I were to go over, you can see here the sample clips, and here you can see now all the different shots. So you can kind of get a look at how Sam shoots, and you can see the raw clips, everything that they went through to create the final product, which I think is a huge, just a huge asset to see what it really looks like raw. So you can practice color grading like Sam. You can practice sound design editing similar to the Kolder Creative team. And obviously you can see the type of shots they're getting firsthand. So overall, I would say that if you're looking to improve your creative skills, if you're looking to join a community with a good mentor and you're looking to link up with other filmmakers and creators, then this course is 100% a bet for you. I, again, am not the most thrilled on the business side just because there was just a fraction of the course being spent on business. So if you guys do go through this course and you do choose to buy it, I definitely recommend that you go through my link, send me an email, because I'd be more than happy to share with you how I've created a sustainable business through video production and social media management. I can share with you the outbound that I'm doing, how I hire a team to manage that process, and the different resources that I go to properly learn how to make a thriving business, not just something that looks great on camera, but actually how to convert, those great visuals into paying clients that allow you to create, a business that you love. So again, hit that link if you're going to buy this course. Shoot me an email. We'll be more than happy to help, and I can't wait to see you guys in the community. Cheers. And also, last thing, if you ever make it to Oahu, hit me up, pop my Instagram around here so you can shoot me a DM, and we can link up when you're out here. Hope to see you guys soon. Peace.